how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Ask That Podcast here on YouTube. The Incredibly Strange Film Book, an alternate history of cinema by Jon Ross, revised and updated edition. Okay, a little bit of history about this. Back in the day, I'm assuming this was a BBC production. I don't think it was ITV. I don't know a lot about British UK television. I know you got the BBC, and there's like 3 or 4 of those channels, and then you got ITV was like their independent channel, and that was it. If you're in actual England proper. I know Wales has like a channel, Ireland, Scotland, all that shit. But they had this show called Incredibly Strange Film Shows. Jon Ross on there's an episode on George Romero. There's an episode on John Waters. There's an episode on the Luchador film, stuff like that. They've never, as far as I know, ever been released on any kind of home video over here in the States. But if you look around online, like YouTube and places like that, you can find the episodes. I'd never heard of it. And then, as I said before, late 1990, cable finally came out to where I live. Matter of fact, it was tail end of November. So, I ended up, one night, I think it was on a weekend, I was home, flipping channels on Incredibly Strange Film Show on Discovery. Back when Discovery actually played shit worth watching when it wasn't, hey, let's watch this guy do his job for an hour, Shit like that. I mean, come on, Deadliest Catch. The show's been on for 20 seasons, the same shit every episode. I don't get it. I was like, this is really cool. I saw the episode on Santo. Never saw another episode. Checked the TV guide all the time. Never saw another episode listed and just never saw one. Skip ahead years and years and years and years and years later. Talking to a friend of mine who lives over in Wales. And I mentioned, because, there was like two series of it, Jon Ross, she's like, she's reminding me about his list. I'm like, yeah, he did have a list. And she mentioned this book. So I went looking, I found a copy. Fairly inexpensive. And see, 100 Years of Cinema, 1896 to 1996. Let's see what the back says. There's Jon Ross. Forget about the other dry academic studies, The Cinematic Technique, by crusty old celluloid boards. This book is about raw movie making, the extraordinary low-budget maniacs who are willing to recreate the 7 deadly sins, and then a few more have commended him to film bit bums on seats. And bums is ass. Yeah. Bum has a completely different meaning over there. It's about the unsung heroes and heroines of the movie world, the salacious delights of the porn movie. Bad movies like so many of Russ Meyer's masterpieces, whole genres doomed by cack-handed dubbing. Movies sold on gimmicks on the 5 minutes of fame, stars like the incredible Rondo Hatton, drive-in schlock out in the joyous outrage of juvenile delinquent films, the guru of gore, Herschel Gordon Lewis video nasties, and there's more. This is a film book like no other film book you've ever encountered. A wonderful, entertaining, and vivid account of the alternative movie world, but one of the greatest and best-known things with a stunning new chapter on Hong Kong movies. Yes, that's everything. The UK got on the Hong Kong film train long before we did here in the States. I don't know why. I've never heard why. I do know that in the UK, home video picked up a lot quicker. Like, okay, in the States, I want to say it was about like 86, like 50% of the households had a VCR. By 86 in the UK, it was like 80%. I don't know why. Maybe it was cheaper there. I don't know. Because I remember when we got our first VCR, nobody I knew had one. We got one in 78 or 70, 77 or 78. And my parents actually got one for one main reason. They loved all these different TV miniseries. Shogun and the Thornbirds, and shit like that. And that's, my memory might be faulty, but I want to say they were like, ooh, Roots. We want to see Roots. But they aired so many nights around, and if you weren't there when it aired, you just didn't get to see it. So they knew Dad worked a bunch of overtime to get a VCR, and we got a Betamax. And then it was about 83, 84-ish. Sorry, I need to sip a drink. We got a actual VHS VCR, which is what most y'all know. How many people out there know Betamax, And the Betamax went in my room, and that's where I just cataloged wrestling. Like, every week when I got my allowance, I'd buy a couple blank tapes and record my wrestling. Let's check out the book here. There's Jon Ross. There's the robot monster. '95 is when this one came out. The first version came out in '93. Okay. Part 1, sex. Part 2, exploitation. Part 3, teenage and drive-in movies. 4, gimmicks. 5, horror and violence. It's about how cinema's over 100 years old. All that shit. Part 1, sex. There might be some quick new history of porn films. Last Tango in Paris there. The plots, all these... the 5 basic plots of porn films back in the day. Plot 1, starts with a male visitor. Maybe a plumber, the milkman, or a salesman invited inside by a woman alone at home. Sex takes place. Plot 2 has a rural feel. Down on a farm and just out in some fields, a woman sees some animals copulating. This will inevitably excite her. A fireman or a traveling salesman again will benefit from her arrival. Plot 3 involves a more elaborate indoor setting, maybe a doctor's or dentist's surgery. After a routine examination or treatment, sex will follow. Plot 4, a little more fantastic. A masked burglar or bandit will encounter a lone but usually randy woman. After breaking into a property, undoubtedly sex will seem the natural thing to do. Plot 5, a woman sunbathing or secretly skin deep and was surprised by a male onlooker. Sex happens. The Carrie Nations from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Okay, we're going to have to skip that page. Linda Lovelace. Body Double from Melanie Griffin. The Enema Bandit. Russ Meyer. And all his different films. Oh man, Super Vixen. There's Russ. There's Jonathan. Russ Meyer had an episode on this. And I have... Some of these episodes have been released over here in the States, I think, as extras on some DVDs. Like, I want to say the Romero episode is out. And maybe the Russ Meyer one. And there's a Sam Raimi one. A definitive Russ Meyer moment in Lorna. Russ was obsessed with tits. The greatest all-girl band ever existed, the Carrie Nations and the Beyond the Valley Dolls. That is one of the Russ Meyer films I've never got to see all of. It just goes all through Russ's stuff, and it's just filmography. Faster Pussycat, Kill, Churra, Satana, and Haji. That is probably the best known Russ Meyer film. The sad thing about the Russ Meyer films is that now his estate owns them, and the DVDs are a fortune. It's like $50 or $60 a piece. They never came out on Blu-ray. They're very litigious. You're not gonna find you're not gonna like flip on to YouTube and find Russ Meyer films. These are ones where you're gonna have to go to like RooTube or one of those sites, 123 Movies, shit like that. And not only that, but you're also, if you really want to download them, you're gonna have to go find torrents. They're not the easiest thing to find. Forgotten star John Holmes. Of course, John Holmes is known for having a humongous schlong. Okay, we're on chapter 2. Exploitation. History of exploitation films. Classic nudist shot. Correctly judged to be devoid of erotic content. Yeah, a lot of volleyball games in these nudist films. That's how they got away with nudity in the early films. Because no, it's not for sexual purpose. This is a nudist. We're just showing how the nudists do their stuff. And I remember, it was David Friedman talking about how he went down to nudist camp to film, and he realized, oh God, there's no way here anybody wants to see. We'll have to import people in. And how him and H.G. Lewis had to walk around naked on the thing. Doris Wishman. Doris Wishman is known for making some of the worst movies ever. And most of her stuff was like dubbed in post. Irish Schneider from Last Tango in Paris. Warming up for the infamous butter scene. Reefer Madness. Formerly Tell Your Children. Don't worry, I will. Reefer Madness, the infamous Annie Pot film. Which I've never actually seen. Oh, Freaks. The Todd Browning Circus Freak movie that is so good. So good. Wing Wing. Wing Wing was this little short guy, I think from like the Philippines. And he did a movie called For Your Height Only. He was like a James Bond style spy. But he's this little short guy. He's like 3 foot tall. Look up. You're on YouTube because you're watching this on YouTube. Look up Wing Wing Rap. It's fucking great. And then they have, there's actually a zine called Wings Chop. Chesty Morgan with the 73-inch bust. Double Agent was a Double Agent 73 in there. I can't remember. Oh, God. Like, one of them, she's a spy, but she got like a camera in one of her titties, so she has to like take her top off and take a picture. Yeah. Totally deranged movie. Maniac. This is not the 80s Maniac. This is the Dwayne Esper Maniac. That's just as fucking insane. Maniac. It's fucking great. Oh, look at that. Flesh Gordon. I actually seen this. It's a sexploitation film. I always heard that the original cut that is not out there anymore actually had like some full hardcore porn in it. The version you get on video now has a few little snippets, but nothing big. Mondo topless and super vixens. Manuel with Sylvia Kristel. These, I only saw one of hers. Like I said, I mentioned growing up, our cable, the cable we had did not offer HBO, did not offer Cinemax, which is where you saw most of this kind of stuff on. It's Cinemax mostly. But we did get Showtime on the movie channel. They offered Showtime on the movie channel and Disney Channel with their premium channels, $10 each a month. Well, my parents were like, we'll get Showtime. We'll get it for movies. Like, I'll pay that $10 a month for movie channel because Joe Bob's on there. And I saw the Black Emanuel series with Laura Gemser, the ones I saw. Mamie Van Dorn. Ed Wood Jr. Yes, Ed Wood. A whole chapter on him. He had a whole episode of the show. Plan 9 with Tor Johnson. Vampira. The Bride and the Beast. Another Plan 9. Glenn. And look, this does not list even... Is that all his films? Glenda, Jailbait, Bride and the Monster, Plan 9 from Outer Space, Bride and the Beast, Night of the Ghouls, and the Sinister Urge. I think that's all the ones he actually directed that were known at the time. Glenda, the sex change movie. No, the transvestite movie. With Ed Wood. Blaxploitation. What we got in it? Richard Roundtree is Shaft. I'm so thankful my father introduced me to them films when I was young. Superfly. Another scene from Superfly. Godfather of Harlem. Godfather of Harlem with Fred Williamson. And the sequel, Hell Up in Harlem. Blackula. Another scene from Blackula. One of Blackula's many followers gets on the wrong side of the LAPD. Teenage and drive-in movies. Teenager movies. My dog's gonna bark from it. The mail lady just passed. I was a teenage werewolf, which sadly is becoming a bitch to see because whoever owns the rights to it wants a fortune. So now I actually released the guy was on VHS quite a while back. There might be a laser disc. No DVD, no Blu-ray. It was on Mystery Science Theater, but that's Michael Landon, one of his early roles, turns into a werewolf. Teenage Frankenstein. Frankenstein's Daughter. History of the Drive-In. Mamie Van Dorn. She was just known for having blonde with this humongous chest. Not really a great actress, but she wasn't horrible. And her and Jane. Mamie Van Dorn film art. Driving Double Bill. Girl on a Chain Gang and Teenage Mother. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson got to start in these films like this, like The Raven. And The Terror. And I think that's probably The Terror. Yeah. Gimmicks. A to Z gimmick. Okay, we're going to talk about... Cinerama. That was just extremely widescreen. A is for Odorama. B is for Black Stamps. I like this. Without doubt, the most feeble of all movie gimmicks, Black Sabbath gave away free to the first 10,000 people who went to see the Hammer double bill of The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb and The Gorgon when it played in the States. The States had no redeemable value, nor did they feature or relate to the films they're in any way. Exploitation. Cinerama, along with 3D's various widescreen. Okay, it's a widescreen process. Duo Vision. This is cool. The split screen has been a feature given in a number of movies before Dual Vision went along. Rock Hudson, Doris Wishman, and Cinema was the most unlikely romantic ever found in split screen glory and pillow talk. And Brian De Palma relied on heavily in The Sisters, The Pale of Paradise, and Carrie. But Dual Vision took the split screen experience to its illogical extreme when producer, writer, director Richard L. Berry decided to shoot his 1973 film Wicked Wicked entirely on a split screen experience. So see the Hunter both at the same time. Don't know if that's got a release, but it aired on Turner Classic Movies in the last 15 years. So you look around, you can find a copy. Emerjo, that was the skeleton from House on Haunted Hill. Fear Flasher. Something spooky's gonna have him play this horn. You cover your eyes, Ghost Viewer. Hallucinogenic Hypnovision. Hypnomagic, Illusiono. Kung Fu. Yeah, Kung Fu was a gimmick back in the day. Naturama is another version of Cinerama. Odorama, where you can smell Psychorama. Oh, God. This movie. Psychorama uses the tarred up Terror in the Haunted House 1958. It'd probably be illegal days. It flashed scary words like death and blood and picture things like spider stays on screen for 1/50th of a second to add an extra subliminal shudder to proceed. Sadly, they forgot to flash messages like come again or tell your friends in the movie and Psychorama both flop. The process was used a year later in another film from the same producer, William S. Edwards. A date with death, but the results are pretty much the same. Okay, I'd never heard of this. And back in the mid-90s, girls with time. Sometimes we had cable, sometimes we didn't. I wasn't going to pay for cable. And I'll be honest, what we do is, the street I live in, my house already wired for cable. There was one box for the entire street. So about, after a buddy of mine come on one day, he's like, man, you ain't got cable now. He goes, man, motherfucker. There's one box for your street on top of that pole. He goes, you got a tree climber. I'll climb out. He goes, I'm going to climb up the pole. He climbed the pole and pulled the filters out for everybody on the street. Well, everybody else on the street was paying for cable. So by doing what I did, it meant that, hey, everybody on the street was paying for cable and got it for free, didn't know, and got all the movie channels, and we got it for free. And our cable company is a little small cable company. They come by maybe once every 5 or 6 weeks, climb up there, see the filters, we're going to put the filters back. And we'd wait a couple weeks to go back up there. Well, sometimes I just didn't feel like climbing the pole because a lot of times, her and I were not home often, so we'd rent movies on. We rented Terror in a Haunted House. It was released by Rhino, and they took out the original little messages and put stuff in like rent Rhino videos. Buy Rhino videos. Smell-O-Vision. Surround. It's a special type of it had vibrations there underwater. Widescreen. Zombies. William Castle, I was wondering if I'm going to mention, this is the guy who did all the gimmicks. House on Haunted Hill, The Tingler. Excuse me. Most of his movies had a gimmick. His best film he had anything to do was Rosemary's Baby, which I don't like, but hey. The French poster for the House on Haunted House in Murder, the skeleton, they have it written up right. The skeleton would come out of this acid pit in the movie and float up and come towards the screen, and then at the upper hand corner of the theater, it would come out on a string, and it was painted in like glow-in-the-dark paint, and it'd go around the theater, and people would like throw shit at it. A Tingler, the theaters that originally played it, they had like one of every so many seats was set up where it had like a joy buzzer on it. Homicidal. Talking about the Tingler. Yeah, the Tingler. A Hand in the Bath Full of Blood is the only thing in full blood red color, so otherwise black and white film, yeah. 3D, okay, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And 3D came back when I was a kid in the 80s, Parasite. And then it came back, about 10 years ago? And it kind of died off there for all. Theaters are making big... Rondo Hatton. This guy, I'm finding a picture of him. Maybe I don't have a picture. There he is right there. He had something wrong with it, and they used him in a pile of movies like a monster. And now you got the Rondo Hatton Horror Awards. Horror and Violence. History of Horror Films. Nosferatu. Family Opera with Lon Chaney Sr. Spiral Staircase. I've never actually seen that. Oh, we're getting some more pictures. Wing Wing! Agent 3.5. The Killer Shrews. Shaft. Evil Dead. Psycho. That's the British cover of Evil Dead. I forget. Yeah, the gruesome, twosome Horsher Gordon Lewis. Suspiria and Tenebres. Really Dumb Monsters of the 50s. The Giant Claw. The Unknown Terror. Attack of the Crab Monster. Attack of the Giant Leeches. Beast with 1 million eyes. Sorry. My throat's dry. I'll give you a hint as to when this is going to film. We're prepping. We just got through prepping yesterday. A hurricane's hitting in 2 days. So the reason I'm digging out books is, you know what happens when a hurricane hits where I live? You lose your power. And where I live, that means that you don't have water. Because we have a well and we have a pump. And it's run by electricity, so you don't have water. So I dig out a pile of books and comics and shit, and I go sit on my back porch and read. Every hurricane hits, I'll just sit outside and read. Carrie, The Wicker Man, Evil Dead, Herschel Gordon Lewis, The Wizard of Gore. That's it. That's probably from that episode. Ross and 2000 Maniac. That's a great film. I think I've covered that before. Color Me Blood Red, The Gruesome Twosome, She Devils on Wheels, Yellow Fever, Mario Bava and Doris Wishman. They produced what was called giallo films, which were murder mysteries, really bloody murder mysteries. Usually a guy wearing black gloves with knives. The word giallo in Italian means yellow. And they were called giallos because they originally came out as books or printed on this cheap yellow paper. Planet of the Vampires. Mario Bava filmography. Suspiria. Dario Argento. And the Suspiria. Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I'm not sure which film that's from. Carnival of Souls. Oh man, this is one of them films that, so creepy. So creepy. I love that it's public domain because it's like Night of the Living Dead. I don't think Carnival of Souls especially would not be as well known if it wasn't public domain and so easily available. Excuse me. Video Nasties. Oh shit. Yeah, because there were so many VCRs in the UK. And the thing is, the UK, they're very strict in their cinema. Like, Muppet Treasure Island had to be edited to get a PG over there. Yeah. Shit like that. Like, they're very strict on a couple of violence, especially. Whereas in the States, we're stricter on nudity. You know, my understanding, they're opposite of us. Like, nudity ain't that big a thing. You know, I mean, hell, Benny Hill, from my understanding, you know, their shows had nudity, you know, and they played over there. Over here, they were cut slightly, whereas we got stuff that airs, you know, prime time over here that, let's just say like a CSI or something like that, that they have to air later because of the violence. The Driller Killer, 8 Ferreras, that's one of the video now. And what it was is that Cannibal Holocaust, oh shit, they got, the videotapes are not regulated. So all kinds of shit was coming out, and people were freaking the fuck out, and there was a big uproar about it. Like Evil Dead was hard as fuck to come out over there for years. Same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Chow Yun-Fat and Nanny Lee get an argument about Reservoir Dogs, and John Woo's the killer. This is the Hong Kong section. Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's legendary. They had nunchucks for banned over there for the longest time. Chinese Ghost Story. Mr. Vampire. Chow Yun-Fat. Not really that well known anymore, but he was big for a while. John Woo. Bullet in the Head. Hard Boiled. Jackie Chan and Armor of the God. Jackie Chan before he became known over here. Drunken Master. That's a great film. Sex and Zen with Amy Yip. And sources, of course. And photo credits and all that shit. But yeah, just a cool little book. I found this the other day. I'm like, holy shit, I forgot I had this. And I know I never did a video on, so I said, okay, I'm doing this a long one, so I apologize for length, everybody. But I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you did, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, all the other bullshit. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.